I swear there's something flying around in here. And if I find it, there was a bird at the store yesterday inside, and I was like, what? Bird, you are never gonna get out of this store. How'd you get in here?
Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today I'm gonna share with you my March best and worst, my favorite videos to film. I don't know though, because my anti-haul that I filmed has like crept up. That was so freaking fun to film. But I don't know. Regardless, I love doing these videos. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna do all of my favorites first, and then I'm gonna end. I have 1, 2, 3 products that I did not like, unless I like think of another one midway through filming. It's very possible. So my first favorite is a rediscovered one, and it's one I actually just bought this 2-pack. I have one out that I use. There it is today. It's the Real Techniques sponge. I forgot how good these were. I don't know if I like decluttered it once because maybe it was really old. I just had like a 1-pack when I first tried it out quite a while ago. But these are the closest thing to a beauty blender I have found ever. And they get just as big, right? So this is the original. They're just as great at blending. I can never tell the difference when I'm using this versus a beauty blender. I have like 6 beauty blenders, but I'm so glad that I have these now because they sell them in 2-packs, which is awesome. And they're so good. And if you're on a budget, just buy a 1-pack, try it out. Especially if you've never tried the beauty blender and you're not even sure if you would even like it. Well, don't spend the money on it and then buy it and then end up not liking using a sponge to apply your makeup. You know what I mean? Better to do this, and then you'll probably realize how much you like this. You don't even need the beauty blender. So something to think about, but it was rediscovered and I love it. Now, let's talk about my hair because I've gotten so many questions. The thing I think right now that's making my wavy-ish frou-frou hair work a little bit better is this. So I've done videos on how I do my hair. I did a sponsored video with eSalon maybe a year ago. I can link it below. I love their products. I've used them all up. I just haven't repurchased them in a while, but I had this kind of in my like drawer of hair extras and backups. So it's the Living Proof Curl Enhancing Styling Mousse. This is the second one I've had. This stuff volumizes your hair. Now this is second day hair, so if you'd seen it yesterday or in my past videos that was like first day hair, this stuff makes all the difference. It just volumizes, it holds your curls together. So I kind of do like a trifecta. What I do when my hair is wet is I use my Rusk like cream, and I put that all throughout my hair. My hair is upside down when I'm doing this. Then I get a bunch of this mousse in my hands and I kind of scrunch it into my hair upside down, and then I spray it with a really good hairspray all over. Then I do my makeup, let my hair kind of air dry. So for about maybe 30, 40 minutes, my hair's air drying while I'm getting ready. Then by the time that's all sunk into my hair, my makeup's done, then I flip my head upside down with a diffuser and blow dry it. And that's what makes it look, I mean, a little bit better than it does today. But I really think this is the miracle worker there. I don't think it's necessarily the cream or the hairspray. I really think it's this. It's really pricey, but if you've tried a lot of stuff and you're just not impressed, or maybe you've just never tried mousse in general, try a mousse. I think you'll be impressed. Mousse seems very old-fashioned to me. My mom used it like when I was a kid, I remember, and I remember thinking like, what? Like, what does that even do? But it works. Now, if you don't have hair that naturally is wavy or anything, it might not work. I don't know. My hair, like when I was growing up, like as a toddler, my hair was just curls coming out. So this is my natural state. Another favorite that was kind of rediscovered in my collection is the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate Foundation. I've had this for probably close to a year-ish now, maybe a couple months shy of that. And I remember when I first got it mentioning it and saying, guys, this is amazing. Well, I recently saw, I think it was Kathleen Lights, talk about it, and I'm like, I totally forgot about that. So I dug it out of my collection and used it again, and I was like, that is why I loved it so much. It really is, as she says, just a beautiful foundation. It lets your skin breathe. It's got, I would say, medium coverage. It's certainly not a full coverage, but it's not like a BB cream either. It really is right in the middle. It just makes your skin look dewy without looking shimmery or anything like that. It's so beautiful. This shade is a perfect match for me. It's warm ivory, which is funny because I have another No. 7 one, the Stay Perfect, which I also like. I got this in warm ivory and it was too dark, so it does kind of, I think, vary range to range. But I love this stuff so much. It's got a pump. It's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Now, if you like really matte skin, you won't like this. But if you feel like you've tried dewy foundations and they're too dewy, I think you'll like this because this is right in between. Next product is this Essence Lash Princess Mascara. I feel like I talked this to death on my Snapchat and everywhere else, but I love it. It's like a couple dollars. It did take about a week of kind of opening it and closing it, you know, every day for a while for it to actually do what people said it does, which is really volumize, really separate. I mean, it is amazing mascara. It holds onto your curl, and it's like a couple dollars. So you guys know I love my It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. This stuff is just as good. Absolutely love it. Now today I'm not wearing it. I was trying out a new mascara that I can't decide if I love or hate, but I really like this stuff. Next product is from Milani. It's their Retouch and Erase Light Lifting Concealer. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This stuff is so good. Now the packaging's kind of weird. I have it in the lightest shade, 01 Fair. It's got this like sponge and you squeeze it and it comes up through it. But I'll just take that and just go and then I can take my, you know, sponge and really blend it in there. And it just is so flawless, so beautiful. In a way, it reminds me of like the Tarte Shape Tape Kat Von D, where it's got really high coverage. It's really comfortable to wear. I don't know. I haven't tried them side by side, but I love wearing this. And there's a reason this is in my favorites and those two are not. I love those two, but this one is just as good and it's so much cheaper. So if you can find Milani or maybe order it online, it is totally worth it. Another rediscovered favorite is my Wet n Wild Single Shadow in Brulee. This stuff is so good. It's packs such a punch for something that's like $1.99. It's just this matte cream color, and I like to put it right under my brow bone, and it just makes your brows stand out so well. Again, I was trying something else out today, so I didn't use it. But I've been using this every day for the past month. It's so perfect for that. And it's perfect, you know, if you're using a palette that doesn't have something like this, you can just grab this and know that it is absolutely foolproof. This next product is this Pure No Filter Blurring Photography Primer. I got this through Octoly recently for free, and so I've been trying it out and I was kind of on the fence for a while, but then I used it some more and I realized how good this stuff is. It's something that you can either mix with your foundation, you can put it on alone, you could put it as a targeted highlighter, you could actually use it as a primer, but it's got this dropper and it's this kind of sheer, ooh, I need to shake it up, oops. You gotta shake it up. But I think the packaging is really cute. I like that it's smaller, not huge and taking up tons of room. But it's this kind of sheer, oh, that's way too much. Well, I guess I shouldn't say sheer, but it ends up being a lot more sheer. And it's just this beautiful primer that catches the light, so when you use way less and put it on under a foundation, especially if it's a mattifying foundation, this does a great job of making you look like you're glowing from within. And like I said, if you've got a really drying or mattifying foundation, you want to mix it with it, that looks beautiful. I've even done it where I kind of mix it on my hand, grab my beauty blender, and just put it in those strategic kind of highlight areas, and it just looks so beautiful. So I really, really like it. Now, could you find a drugstore one that's probably somewhat similar? Maybe. I haven't found anything that's as translucent as this, because like I said, this is such a good mix where it's not so thick and like opaque as a highlighter. It's right in between, and that's why I think it looks great as a primer and mixed with. So really, really like this a lot, actually. Okay, let's move on to the misses. First one, I gotta be honest, it's not even the quality of this. This is, by the way, if you didn't recognize it, it's the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Honey palette. I just don't like the colors. Like, they sent me this for free a while ago, and I've literally pulled it out like maybe 10 times. I've never used it. That's how uninspired. I've never felt this way about a palette. I would pull it out and say, oh, I'm gonna use that today. And I'd pull it out and open it, and I'd think, okay, what am I gonna do here? And I think, oh, well, maybe I'll use this peanut butter shade, kind of a warm medium brown. I'll use that in the crease. And then I'm like, well, what will I put on the lid? And I'm like, I don't really like those colors. Then I'm like, well, maybe outer corner I'll do Going Nuts, or maybe I'll do that as a liner. And then as I think through it, I'm like, I don't want to use this. Like, I'm not inspired by it at all. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people really like this. Like I said, it's not the quality. It's totally, totally my taste, my preference. And I'm just not inspired by these colors in any way. And when I use a palette, I like to be able to use mostly that palette. Sometimes, you know, you might have to dig into another for something else. But I mean, I felt like I truly could barely get a complete look out of this that I personally liked. So this is a total subjective you know, issue where I just didn't like the colors. Like, the quality's not bad. I mean, it's like any Too Faced shadows. I like Too Faced shadows for the most part. But this one I was just, I don't know. I just didn't like it. Next products that were kind of misses. This is the Givenchy Prisme Libre powder. Now, maybe I should have put this in the middle. It's kind of a meh product. It is crazy expensive. I'll put the price of it on the screen right now because I don't know the price in my head. But the idea of it is that you get these 4 different colors. There's a light green, purple, kind of a whitish, and blue. And they kind of mix together to kind of let the light bounce off of your face well, and it can still mattify and make it kind of blurred and perfected. But it really just ends up looking really white on my face. And I would say I'm pretty darn fair, and it still doesn't really work for me. It's not, like I said, it's not like the worst powder I've ever tried. I mean, it shouldn't be at the price tag. But it just was one that I'm like, you know, for that expensive, it's nothing life-changing. And this was sent to me through Octoly as well. And so if I were to have gone out and bought this on my own, I would have been so upset that it wasn't life-changing because it's so expensive. And something that expensive should be life-changing because they're amazing drugstore powders. Like the NYC translucent powder is really good and it's like $4. So for that reason, you know, it's not horrible, but it wasn't wowing. And I did feel like it kind of made my face look a little bit ghostly. For that reason, that's why it's kind of in my misses. I wouldn't recommend buying it. Last product I have to mention, if you saw my snaps, I usually show what I'm wearing in the morning and what I think about it, things like that. It's like mini videos in the morning. I had this Soap & Glory Love at First Blush. They recently sent this to me, and I'd already previously owned their Peach Party one. I love this one. This one I really like. It's a peachy tone. It's definitely glittery. Well, they sent the pink one, and I just felt like it looked so patchy on my skin. The peach one I didn't notice that with, but for some reason this one did. And there's not really a reason it should. So what I might use this as is maybe as like a blush topper if I just want that frosty look, but I don't think I can use this as a blush on its own because it looks so splotchy and patchy, and any redness I'd already had, I felt like it illuminated that in a horrible way. And so I don't know, I just really wasn't impressed, especially since I loved the Peach Party one so much. So I would say if you're like dying to try one of these, try the peach one. The pink one, unless you just want a blush topper, I would stay away from it. Because again, it swatches beautifully, and I think if it had a blush to play off of underneath it, it would look a lot better and less splotchy, but on its own, it was not pretty. So those are all of my best and worst for March. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll subscribe before you leave and say hi to me on my social media, which is JamBeauty89, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.